The Jake Asman Show will begin shortly. Thanks to all these great Patreon members who help support the show. Get your super chats ready. Jake will be here in just a moment. If you love the New York Jets, this is the place to be. And now, the Jake Asman Show.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have reached single digits until the Jets and the Steelers kick off week 1 of the season. We'll break down the latest with the Jets. Nick Faria, Jets reporter, will join us in his weekly spot. It's the Jake Asman Show. Football Friday. Let's hit it and get it started.
Joining us right now is a new member of the ESPN family. He's the one nobody gives a shit.
Oh, that was great. That was perfect. Nobody gives a shit.
The 2025 New York Jets season is officially here. Can Aaron Glenn lead the team back to the playoffs and finally deliver on the promise this roster has shown? Every step of the journey, the Jake Asman Show will have you covered, breaking down all the storylines, every game, and everything in between. Please subscribe and hit the like button below. Super Chats, baby. Cut the line. The Jake Asman Show starts right now.
Here we go, Jet fans. Welcome in, everybody. Please subscribe to the channel. We are almost at 42,000 subscribers, so you can help us get there by just clicking that subscribe button on the right-hand side. It helps the channel continue to grow. Right now, we're at 41,926, so we are approaching that big-time 42,000 mark. The Jets are any good this year? Maybe we can get to 50K by the end of the season. We're going to be joined in a couple minutes by Jets reporter Nick Faria. If you missed it yesterday, Jets GM Darren Muji did in fact speak. And I think the biggest takeaway from Muji's presser is that he's not going to tip his hand on how he's feeling about what are perceived weaknesses on the roster, most notably the wide receiver room. He defended the wide receiver room, said that he likes the guys in there, referenced the fact that it all starts with Garrett Wilson, referenced the fact that they've been happy with the development of Arian Smith so far. And I think what is obvious when you look at the Jets room right now, they're going to run the hell out of the ball. So they believe they could get by with a wide receiver room that only has one legitimately great player in it, one proven commodity in Garrett Wilson. After that, Josh Reynolds is probably more of a 3 or 4 at this stage of his career. Alan Lazard, Jet fans, you know what he is. Xavier Gibson, we know what he is. We all thought Tyler Johnson was going to have a real role on this team. Well, he was released and then signed to the practice squad. So I think it's clear based on the moves the Jets have made, right? They added another tight end off waiver wires in Jelani Woods, that this team believes with their offense being styled to run the hell out of the ball, they don't need a 6th receiver in that room. Not saying the Jets can't still look to make a move there, but I think just kind of reading the tea leaves and where we are at this point in the season, I don't know if that wide receiver trade is coming. The only name left at this point is Jacoby Myers. And I just don't see the Jets making that move given what they want their offense to be. Think about it. When they added Woods, it's not like they released another one of their tight ends. Adding Jelani Woods didn't mean they released Jeremy Ruckert or Stone Smart or Andrew Beck, who's a fullback / tight end hybrid. He's played both in the league. It meant they waived a linebacker, Zaire Barnes. They went out there and they have basically told you all you need to know about what style of offense they're going to be. And we're going to see Breece Hall be used a lot in the passing attack. And that doesn't just mean like checkdowns. That means he's going to go out there and he's going to be lining up as a receiver. He's going to be lining up as a guy that could go out there and hopefully get a matchup against, let's say, a linebacker and take full advantage of that. That's what we're talking about here. Not just, the Jets are going to go out there and, they're going to hope for the best. They're going to try and scheme guys open, and they're going to try and scheme Breece in matchups that they think he can win. And that goes for guys like Stone Smart, who is not really a true traditional tight end. Maybe he's just like a big slot they view him as. So I think that's their plan because they look at the personnel they have, and that's the best way to try and win with it. So is it going to work? I mean, look, so much of it is, can your quarterback make plays? Can he take that step? But it's also on the coaching staff to help him. And we shall see. If you're tuned in live right now, hit the like button. Remind you, our weekly Asmaniac raffle is coming up. It will be on Tuesday this week because Labor Day is Monday. Justin Fields signed jersey, Sack Exchange signed jersey by each member. And I added the prize the other day, a third prize, signed Sauce Gardner jersey. Huge shout out to Jess and J-Boy, who have already gifted memberships to enter our raffle on Tuesday. Oh, yeah. I also today have a prize at the end of the stream here on A Football Friday. Let's give away a signed Anthony Beck autographed jersey. Anthony, of course, former Jets first-round pick. He is the Jets radio announcer with Bob Lashusen. You win the signed Anthony Beck jersey at the end of the show if you enter the raffle and the wheel spins on your name. With that said, let's say hello right now in his weekly spot, the Jets reporter for JetsXFactor.com, Nick Faria. Nick, Football Friday, 9 days till kickoff for the Jets and the Steelers. How you doing, my friend?
Great to be back on, Jake. It's almost here, and the news coming out yesterday, quite exciting, not only for the Jets, but for the rest of the league as well.
Let's talk about the news yesterday. I mean, you know firsthand all about the Dallas Cowboys and Micah Parsons, and he doesn't have to go up against your team now in 6 days. What was your initial reaction to the Cowboys trading Micah to Green Bay?
You know, I really hope they tried to do it. They try to hold off until Wednesday, next Wednesday, that is, because, listen, these things take time. Maybe you could get a better offer. Maybe you hold Mike on just a little bit longer to see if you can get a deal done. But no, listen, the Cowboys are what they are. They're a soap opera. They want to be a soap opera. That's what they've wanted to be since Jerry let go of Jimmy Johnson back in the 90s. He won a title afterwards, so that essentially allowed Jerry to think that he was some preeminent god of the NFL. And, of course, he hasn't been. It's been 30 years since they've actually sniffed a conference title game. And now they've traded away arguably their best player, easily their best defensive player. And now we're going to see just how good these guys are. This new defensive staff is for the Cowboys. They do have some help in the secondary. Deron Bland, Trevon Diggs, those guys are pretty damn good. Questions at linebacker, questions along the defensive line. Kenny Clark, a three-time Pro Bowler, but last year was easily the worst year of his career. Really, really bad in most run grades. Any way you slice it, this was not the Herschel Walker trade. This was not the trade for Khalil Mack. All those things come into its own, and the Cowboys essentially gave away their best player for 2 first-round picks and a major question mark along the defensive line. This is who they are. This is what they want to be. This is exactly what the Cowboys want to be.
It is a stunning trade. You just don't see trades like this happen in the NFL. And I'll say this for all the Jet fans out there. As bad as Woody Johnson can be, and he certainly doesn't deserve the benefit of the doubt, the best thing you could say about Woody Johnson, he's not Jerry Jones. He's not directly meddling the way Jerry is, because Jerry can meddle because not only is he the owner, he's the general manager who can never fire himself. So at least we have that, Jet fans.
And the other thing is this, look, I'm not going to excuse Woody for any of this. A lot of struggles that come from 14 years of playoff droughts has to be at the feet of the owner. Hiring the wrong guys, bringing in the wrong personnel, whatever it ends up being, he's made mistakes. But the people that consider him meddling, I truly believe they're not exactly complaining about the right thing. Every single owner outside of the Packers and the Steelers meddle. They meddle in football decisions. They want to know what's going on with their football team. They want to know what's going on with their investment and what they can do to help. In the case of Woody Johnson, he is no different than any other owner in the NFL. The caveat here is that Jerry Jones is so unique because he's the only one that believes he is the right guy in place to run the Dallas Cowboys. Woody doesn't deal with that. Tepper doesn't deal with that in Carolina, and he is easily the worst owner in football right now. All these things have to be taken into account. So the way that I look at it, look, Woody hasn't been good. It's been a very long road, a disappointing road for the New York Jets. No denying it. But if we start comparing Woody Johnson as a bad owner to the Jerry Joneses of the world, I think that's disingenuous because he is nowhere near as bad, nearly as poor in football decisions than Jerry Jones is.
Well, I think the big thing with Woody is he has hired the wrong people. He has trusted the wrong people. And then when he eventually has meddled, it's years in. I mean, no one's talking about Woody Johnson meddling in year 1, year 2. Like, I think Aaron Glenn and Darren Muji have full carte blanche to run the Jets their way. We get to year 3 and they still suck, then yeah, you'd be concerned maybe about an owner stepping in. But I also will defend Woody from this standpoint. Joe Douglas was in his 6th year. Robert Saleh was in his 4th year. That never gets brought up. Like, I'm not excusing it, but I also like want to understand that there's a human being on the other side who was promised greatness from his team and they continued to suck. Like, I think that has a lot to do with what's happened with the Jets.
Right. And it was trust too. Like, he goes off and becomes the ambassador, what is it, to the United Kingdom, to Ireland, whatever it was. And so he wasn't around for some of these football decisions. He wasn't allowed to be. So he comes back in to people that he didn't really hire, wasn't really a part of that process, and he was expecting results because they said, we're a quarterback away. We just need one more piece, and we're going to figure it out, and we're going to win. And they didn't do it. So Woody, from an owner perspective, as is the case for many owners in the National Football League, they said, well, clearly you're not doing your job. Clearly I need to know what the hell's going on. So now it's time for me to step in and see what exactly is going on. If anything, I think Woody Johnson's concerns are that he's a little too patient at times, kind of like the Maras in a way, where they're waiting and they really like the people they hire, but they don't know if they should cut the cord just yet. They don't know if this is the right time, and it kind of sets themselves up for failure. I mean, you look at Rex Ryan, they battled their way to 8-8 season that one year, and it was like, yeah, Rex is going to get one more year with this team. The players love him and everything else. And it absolutely collapsed the following season. Woody probably should have cut ties with him then instead of waiting an extra year. Same thing with Douglas, same thing with Saleh. If he didn't trust those guys enough, why give them the 2024 season? That's really, to me, the big concern from Woody Johnson last year. It's no problem that you fired Saleh, you fired Douglas with the year that they had. But if you weren't going to trust them to begin with, then just cut them loose. Cut them loose and move forward with a new plan, a new regime that maybe could put you over the hump.
We shall see if Aaron Glenn is the right guy. But one thing I've said to Jet fans, Woody never felt connected to Saleh and Douglas because he didn't hire them. Yeah. So he's used that as an excuse to people I know behind closed doors. Like, he didn't feel like they were his guys. This was the first time since 2015 where Woody Johnson oversaw the coach and the GM being hired together. These were his hires. The last time that happened was Todd Bowles and Mike McCagnon. So he's connected to Glenn. He's connected to Muji. And this is the Aaron Glenn show. Like, it's been obvious since the day of the press conference when Woody referred to Muji as Glenn's sidekick that it's all AG, it's all Aaron Glenn. And time will tell if he's the right coach, but he's going to get full carte blanche, to use that word again, to run the Jets. And I think getting off to a good start here in 2025 will go a long way towards having that buy-in from ownership and certainly the fan base as well.
I mean, they if some way, shape, or form they start 2-0, they beat Pittsburgh and they somehow beat Buffalo and MetLife, which has been a house of horrors for the Bills in the last couple of years. Let's be fair about that. There's going to be a lot of people in that Jet organization that are essentially saying to Aaron Glenn, whatever you need, buddy, we are there for you. We're there to help. Whatever you need, we're perfectly set up for everything. So the extremes of both are always fun to play. But honestly, even a win against Aaron Rodgers, a win against the Pittsburgh Steelers can go a massive, massive way for Aaron Glenn, just instilling trust in this front office and instilling trust in the fan base. I mean, some fans really like what they have seen throughout the preseason, throughout training camp, and the stuff that he has talked about, the way that he has carried himself in this organization. But you need to be able to see it on the field. If this team goes out and performs at a high level, that is going to go a long way to showing this fan base we are run the right way. We're no longer just talking about having these great quotes and getting excited about the quotes. This is, we are here to perform at a high level, and we are going to do so. It's a big step for this organization to sort of learn how to win in a way.
Let's talk about yesterday's Darren Muji press conference, Nick, before you signed on. I thought the big takeaway was him trying to defend the wide receiver room, also made some comments about their belief in Justin Fields being able to take the steps that we saw Sam Darnold and Baker Mayfield and Geno Smith take over the last several years. What did you make of Muji's presser? What were some of the standout comments he made from your perspective?
Yeah, we've talked about this kid a lot, but Arian Smith, the 4th-round rookie out of Georgia, I thought he had a fantastic camp. I thought he had a very good preseason slate. The other piece to this, though, is the fact that they're only keeping, essentially right now, 5 receivers on the roster, if you include Xavier Gibson and Alan Lazard and all those things. The fact that Muji was so confident in talking about Arian Smith with his speed, it tells me that they are not expecting him to be a gadget player. They are expecting him to be the number 2 or number 3 wide receiver, a key part in this offensive philosophy, a key part in how they are able to move the ball down the field and through the air. He is a player that, quite frankly, there's no other player on this team like him. That blazing speed, the route running ability, obviously has some questions with his hands, but I think he's a little bit faster than Garrett Wilson, even though Garrett Wilson is a better all-around receiver. And when you pair that kind of speed with a player like Garrett Wilson, the sky is the limit for your offense. So if Arian Smith can step up in a big way this year, early on in the season, you're going to be looking at this Jets offense a lot differently than many people expect going into this season after cutdown day. So many people were upset about the UDFAs being released and Brandon Smith earning a spot and Jamal Pritchett earning a spot, but not actually getting on the final roster. All those things people are frustrated about. But if Arian Smith develops into a number 2 wide receiver, all those concerns go away. In the case of Justin Fields, that's kind of what we've talked about. They want to see, when they signed Justin Fields, they wanted to see if they could get Sam Darnold type of year out of Justin Fields. Maybe not the same numbers, but the same kind of quality production where he looks like a competent starting quarterback and someone who can win games for this team. He hasn't shown it for the majority of his career. He started 4-2 with Pittsburgh last year, but even then the offense just wasn't looking good. If you get that kind of play, though, where he's not turning the ball over and he's just making essentially the reads that the defense is allowing him to make, I think you're going to find that this offense can be somewhat successful this year specifically.
Comments, questions, super chats, cut the line. Anthony Beck signed jersey. We raffle that away at the end of the show, Jet fans, here on a Football Friday. We are presented by FanDuel Sportsbook. And look, Jets Steelers. Jets right now, 3-point home dogs against Rodgers and Mike Tomlin 9 days from right now. Nick, we'll talk next week, but give us an early feel for the game. Do you like the Jets' chances in week 1?
I do. First off, it's at home. I wouldn't like their chances if they were playing in Heinz Field or whatever the hell the stadium is called now. But the reports out of Pittsburgh aren't exactly great in regards to their offense. Aaron Rodgers hasn't been always in tune. The offensive line hasn't been great. The relationship with Metcalf is obviously still a work in progress. And the defense is a lot older than it has been in recent years. You know, you look, Cam Hayward hasn't really practiced. TJ Watt, a little bit older. Alex Highsmith, obviously still really good. But if you're the Jets and you want to be able to run the ball effectively, this is the kind of matchup you want to see. The Pittsburgh Steelers historically have always been very good against the run, but now with the quality of talent they have on the roster, you don't really know if they'll be able to do that this year, particularly with Hayward just not being around and not practicing certain points throughout camp. So I actually do like the matchup against Pittsburgh. I think they match up very well against the Steelers offense. I think they match up really well against their defense because they're not going to have to throw the ball or not going to want to throw the ball 30 times a game. And if you're able to own the time of possession, you're able to own the line of scrimmage, you will win football games consistently. So you look at Mike Tomlin's teams, they've historically never come out very hot to begin with. They lost last year. They had all these issues. Excuse me, they won last year but lost 2 years ago. All those things taken into account, I do believe that Pittsburgh will be a little bit better this year than people think, but not week 1. And I think the Jets have a prime opportunity here to play spoiler.
This is debatable just how big of breaking news it is, but we do have a Jets transaction to talk about.
Breaking sports news on the Jake Asman Show.
New York Jets have signed rookie cornerback Corey Black to their practice squad. He was a 7th-round pick by the Giants. He made the Giants' initial 53, but was waived on Wednesday. So the Jets address the corner depth, at least on their practice squad, with Corey Black. Your thoughts, Nick Faria?
So I heard originally that they liked this kid during the joint practices. They liked what they saw out of him. And what was interesting was he had the opportunity to return back to the Giants practice squad, but essentially said, well, I've got the same offer from the Jets. I'd rather go there. So intriguing player, intriguing prospect. We'll see what happens there. I wouldn't expect any, barn burners left and right if he sees the field his first year or not. But eventually, you want as many special teams guys as you can, and Corey Black was going to be a special teams guy, whether it was for the Giants or another team. The Jets bring him in. We'll see how he can develop under this staff.
Ladies and gentlemen, Nick Faria is our guest. If you have a question for him, write it in. Let's get to a couple of your super chats here. Spencer Green in the raffle for 2. He says, if Fields is no good, I want the quarterback from USF. Guy looked like the best player in college football last night. And we're underway on quarterback discussion talk from college.
We've seen 2 college football games so far. But, yeah, in that second game, we saw a quarterback we really like. Good God, guys. Come on. I love the conversation. It's always funny when that happens. But, yeah, we're way too early in this college football season to say this guy looks like the best player in college football.
Craig M. with a super chat talking about the Micah trade we opened the show with. NYJ sneaky upset with Micah gone. 2019 was a blast. I felt like that was still a winnable game even with Parsons, but now without him, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I don't think the Cowboys are that much more talented than the Jets. They certainly have the advantage at quarterback, but head coach, complete toss up, and the rest of the rosters are, to me, at least pretty even from what I can tell.
I would say that probably the Jets have the better secondary, although you're competing. It's 2 really good secondaries. The quarterback position's an overwhelming advantage. I do think receivers an overwhelming advantage now that George Pickens is there as well. Offensive line for the Cowboys is a question mark. The defensive line's a massive question mark. The one thing about this, Jerry Jones in his rambling, incoherent speech yesterday talked about how Kenny Clark helps their run defense. Well, if you look at the overall grades by Pro Football Focus, Kenny Clark wasn't very good in run defense last year. He had 7.5 sacks a couple of years ago, but he played a full 17 games last season and wasn't very good. Now he has less than a week to prepare for the regular season. That's not really enough time for any particular player to go in and jump into a new system. I think the Cowboys' run defense is going to struggle this year, just objectively. It's as good as Micah Parsons was, they were still pretty bad in run defense. But Kenny Clark, what does he solve in this way? What does he solve exactly? That's a huge question mark. And that, again, fits perfectly into the matchup for the Jets. They're going to want to run the football. They've got plenty of power. You're going to be able to run the ball against this Cowboy defense. You have been for the last few years. This should be a game where the Cowboys, if they don't win, they should keep it very, very close and competitive. And in a year like this, if you're not pulling out wins, you want to see improvement, that's the kind of thing you want to see.
Comments, questions, super chats, cut the line. Hey, huge shout out to Phantom Green and White, the latest Asmaniac to enter our Anthony Becht autographed Jets jersey raffle at the end of the show. And then, hey now, our second 5 spot on the day, Jet It Out, is in the Asmaniac raffle. Jet It Out, you're playing to win. This jersey I have in my hand right now.
Hello, you play to win the game.
Speaking of Herm Edwards, he's joining my radio show I'm doing today from 1 to 3 on ESPN New York. Jet fans, I got 2 awesome guests joining me on the K show today from 1 to 3 on 880 ESPN New York. Coach Herm at 1:30, Connor Rogers from Badlands, and of course, SNY pre and post for the Jets at 2:30. So we'll talk Jets, talk more about the Micah trade. So I'm looking forward to that. Tune in on radio from 1 to 3. Starting next week, we'll be back to our usual 10 a.m. start times for the first show and 4 p.m. for the second show, all times, of course, Eastern. Denise with a super chat. Tomlin praised Justin for torching the Steelers' first defense while running the practice squad in pressers last year. Wish I could find the clip. Well, clearly Justin Fields is a great talent. It's when teams are game planning for him and it's, hey, winning time in the fourth quarter, you got to drop back and throw. Can he make those plays? That's the question with Fields.
And again, this is not to say that he's a bad guy. It's not to say that, he's not doing his job in terms of preparation. He's a great runner, but can he win from the pocket? The statistics, the numbers show that he has the lowest completion percentage of any quarterback over the last 4 years from the pocket in the fourth quarter. That kind of tells you what you need to know, because when you're in those crunch moments, you need a quarterback that can beat the defense with his arms, not just his legs. If you only have someone who can beat him with the legs, you essentially have a Walmart Lamar Jackson, and that's just not going to be good enough to win in this league. So I do think you have seen some improvements from Justin Fields in camp this year. You have also seen some of the same problems that we have seen over the last 4 years. So the question is, which Justin Fields shows up every single week to start the regular season? If he is the guy that is decisive, that is going through his reads quickly, but efficiently and able to deliver timely balls, then the New York Jets are going to be a lot better than people expect this year. But if he is indecisive, if he's trying to read the defense and he's going too slow and he's holding on to the ball too long, then you are going to see a very inconsistent offense for the majority of the year. It really just comes down to that.
Ladies and gentlemen, right here is a super chat from Dan the Jet fan. Do you guys see the Jets acquiring another wide receiver, whether it's a free agent signing like Gabe Davis or a trade involving a late round pick swap? Nick?
Yeah, no, I've been pretty consistent on this. I don't see them bringing someone in. The conversations that Daramushi had yesterday don't really tell me that they're interested in bringing in another wide receiver. Maybe they call up a UDFA. Maybe they call one of these guys up on the practice squad. But again, the numbers don't support bringing in a number 2 receiver. The target share that you are going to have does not support a number 2 receiver. And quite frankly, Justin Fields, if you look at the numbers that he has had throughout his career, he doesn't really target number 2 receivers. He goes to the number 1 wide receiver. He goes to the top tight end. He'll check it down to the running back, and then he'll take off. There's just not enough targets available to have someone come in via trade or signing that you can say, actually, this guy's going to have 100 targets this year and put up 60 catches. That's not going to be this offense.
Wesley Gates in the house. That's not a name we see very often in the raffle. Well, guess what, Wesley? You're in for 5.
We're the freaking New York Jets, so we're built for this shit.
Signed Anthony Beck jersey is today's giveaway, doing something awesome on a football Friday. Beck, of course, part of that 2000 Jets draft class 25 years ago. So pretty neat. And Beck, of course, his son, one of the top QBs in college football this year. So could Rocco Beck be a Jet? People are talking, Nick. People are talking.
Listen, this is going to be the next couple of years are going to be so deep at quarterback that even if the Jets are a lot better this year than people expect, like they get to like 8-9 wins, you can still get your quarterback. You really, really can't. Because even if you're trading into 10 or you just wait to have the quarterback fall to you, these are 2 really good draft classes. If Archie Manning comes out this year, I'm still highly skeptical of that. But if it comes out this year, that's going to change this whole conversation because you are going to see a massive haul from teams trying to get into the top 10.
This one, by the way, Wesley, who gifted 5, been gifted memberships for 8 months. Got to give some debt back when I can. Wesley, very kind of you. Appreciate your support. Everyone who gives membership super chats, that's the lifeline of the channel. So thank you to this community for always coming through for the people. We got some more super chats I want to hit on. Then I do have some more questions for you, Nick. This one's from Bill M. He says, Brandon Smith, all practice squad on 53-man roster. That's from the Jets website. The Jets themselves have not announced that. So I'm always weary of like a clerical error with something like that. But
it has happened. It has happened. But we'll figure out. We'll try to delve more into the information, see what that happens.
Was there a move then if Brandon Smith was added to the 53 because he was on the practice squad?
Yeah, I haven't seen anything yet. I haven't seen or heard anything on that.
So we'll see. We're not going to speculate till we get some confirmation there. Let's see. Mikey Man with an Asmaniac super chat. If field stats are pretty terrible and the Jets are floating around 500 through the season, do you see AG moving to Tyrod for a few games?
Absolutely not. This is the big selling point for the Jets to bring Justin Fields here was the fact that he was going to be QB1 and he was essentially going to have a very long leash. Justin Fields did not want to go to a team like Pittsburgh last year where he was there to compete for the starting job. He lost it, not because of anything he did, but just because Mike Tomlin wanted to give the job to Russell Wilson and then said, well, you're playing good for 6 games, we're winning, but we're still going to go to this other guy. He's still QB1. Didn't want to go to that situation. He is QB1, and he is going to be QB1 for a majority of the year until he gets hurt or if they are just out of the contention 2-14. Maybe that conversation happens, but I don't think they're going to be that bad. I really don't. So this is Justin Fields' ship, and he is going to run with it for as long as he possibly can.
More memberships. Shout out to Denise Walters for entering the Asmaniac raffle for 1.
I am not a meatball.
That is right, Denise. But guess what? You're in the raffle for 1. All right, more super chats here. This one is from Evan. He's using his free Asmaniac super chat you get once a month with your membership. Arian Smith, in my opinion, will be like Darnell Mooney was as a rookie. That's his floor.
Oh, let's be fair. Come on, let's be fair to Arian Smith. He's still a rookie, and he's still a fourth-round rookie. I believe that he can be the team's number 2 wide receiver. But if he's not, that's okay as well because he's still developing. We put too much stock on young players needing to perform immediately right away. We can believe that this is the case, but if it's not, we have to make sure that we have a measured approach in how we judge rookies and rookie classes. I really like this Jets rookie class. I think all of them can be significant impact players on this team in 2025 and beyond. But if they aren't in their rookie year, that doesn't mean that this is a bad draft class. It just means that they'll need more time to develop. Too many teams nowadays, they give up on some of these young talents before you really can figure out who they are. So, yeah, maybe he becomes Mooney. Maybe he becomes Deshaun Jackson his rookie year. I continuously make that comparison. But even if they aren't, that doesn't mean Arian Smith was a bad pick. It just means he may need some more development.
Comments, questions, super chats. They cut the line. Jets reporter Nick Faria with us from Jets X Factor. We got a super chat here from 25 who says, what are the odds that we add defensive end depth? We are in big trouble if McDonald or JJ get hurt. In my opinion, JJ is also going to be eased in, I think.
So you always want to have solid depth at edge rusher, of course. But they brought in 2 tackles that I think are going to be very important, very impactful in Briggs and Phillips. I will say, I don't know if they're going to be interested in bringing in someone right now. From what I got from Muji, it seemed like he was like, listen, I really like where we are right now. I want to see what this core looks like within the first month of the season, and we'll see what happens. If McDonald or JJ get hurt, though, people are going to say, well, the edge rusher, they're not going to be able to get to the quarterback. I want to pause on that for a second because the best Jets defense from the 2009 to 2010 to the 2010 teams, they were not big guys on getting consistent edge rush pressure from 2 guys, and that was it. They schemed pressure consistently because Rex Ryan was so good at scheming pressure for any different quarterback. He wasn't just one guy that was coming after you and getting 15, 16 sacks. It was a multitude of guys that could get after him. It was a multitude of different disguised blitzes that could get after the quarterback. That's what I see from this Jets team. Now, this doesn't mean that Will McDonald and Johnson are not going to be impactful. I believe they're going to be key parts of this defense. But just because maybe Johnson isn't 100% right away because he's coming back from an Achilles doesn't mean that the pass rush isn't going to be there. Steve Wilks has been a coordinator in this league for a very long time. Aaron Glenn knows how to scheme pressure around. This team, I think, is going to be a lot better defensively, not just against the run from a schematical standpoint, but instilling pressure because it's all about schematics. If you confuse an offensive line, you don't need a 15-sack guy. You just need guys that can get after and have the speed to get after the quarterback, and the Jets do. They have it in bulk.
Black Gypsy in the house. He joins our Beck raffle for 1. And then, hey now, Colin in the house. Colin Wolford with a 5 spot of gifted memberships.
Show me the money. Show me the money!
Hey,
Appreciate you, Colin. Phantom Green and White says Arian Smith about to go Stephen Hill week 1. Stephen Hill, craziest start to a career. He has 2 touchdowns week 1. The Jets, who looked awful in the preseason that year, they didn't score an offensive touchdown until the 4th quarter of the final preseason game. And that's when you had 4 preseason games. They then put up like 45 points on the Bills. And week 1, we're thinking, oh my God, this team's actually going to be good this year. What? And then they turned out to be awful. They only won 5 more games the entire rest of the way. And Stephen Hill was horrendous. But we will always have week 1, Stephen Hill, 2012. If Arian Smith goes Stephen Hill week 1, I'll sign for it. But hopefully there's a lot more to his career after that besides that one game.
Certainly feels like it the way that he's practiced. I mean, the calling card from him coming out of college was the fact that he couldn't catch the football consistently and he got hurt. No one really knew about his route running. People had concerns about that. But it didn't take long in camp to realize that his route running is a lot better than people gave it credit for. And his hands are improving exponentially. The focus has been there. The professionalism has been there. He has looked like a guy that was a steal in the 4th round, quite frankly. You look at some of these receivers that have struggled throughout camp like they normally do for rookies. Arian Smith really hasn't had that. And I don't think there's been one practice where I looked and said, man, this is just not a good day for Arian Smith. He's beaten Sauce Gardner. He's beaten Brandon Stevens. He's beaten A.Z. Thomas. He has beaten almost every corner the Jets have thrown at him at least once. And when you have that in a young receiver, that is all you can ask for. And I look at the way the Jets are built right now. If he makes, in my opinion, I think that the best expectation is he makes one big play. One play a game of over 20 yards, whether it's a run or a pass that keeps the defense honest. That is going to be his big role for the team this year.
Comments, questions, super chats. We'll cut the line. Nick, yesterday the Jets released their rivalry uniform for the Dolphin game in December. Fan base reactions are all over the place. What was your take on the Jets' new uniform?
I mean, my takeaway is more just for the NFL. Why do we need this? There are some uniforms that are just perfect the way they are, and there's no need to change them. Like the old powder blues for the Chargers, I thought was perfect. I'm not fond of the ones they have now. It looks so much better when it was the old Charger powder blue. And someone brought it to my attention. They're like, it's all about who you were as a fan when you first started watching football. You're always tied to those teams. The Jets logo now is great. The uniforms are all great. I've always been partial to the 2000s look, the early 2000s Jets look. They were very successful during those years. I always thought they were better. And this new inclusion of bringing in these new designs like this Gotham City one, I don't think it's necessary. I really don't, because sometimes you have perfect uniforms and sometimes you just have perfect looks. Why change anything? And so, yeah, look, there are going to be people that like this. There are going to be people that don't like this. To me, I just find it unnecessary because the Jets look is already pretty solid as it is. Why don't you just continue running that and continue to build that brand? It's already good. Why change it?
Yeah, I'm just glad they're only wearing this for apparently one game. I don't love it. I think the big debate is like, what color are they actually? Apparently, the official diagnosis is deep green, but you can't tell. It looks black, but it's actually a different shade of green.
I can't help it there. I'm literally colorblind green, and this all looks the same to me.
Yeah, I mean, then you have like the shoulder panels, like the Gotham grit, they're calling it, details inspired by the iconic New York City skyline and textures of the city streets. I mean, they were inspired by like the manholes of New York. So I'm like, great, we're the Jets. We stink like the sewers of the city. That was my initial reaction. I mean, look, if they win in these, I don't think anyone's going to care. But I love the Jets uniforms now. Like, I love that they're wearing the throwbacks that are now permanents. I think they look great. And I loved when they wore the 2000 era throwbacks against the Bills last year. I think they should wear those. And then they have already a black jersey that they could wear. I don't need another like black looking jersey like this is. I guess technically it's deep green, but I put up this photo here of Justin Fields. This looks like it's black. It doesn't look like it's deep green to me.
Yeah, it looks black to me. But again, I'm also colorblind, so I can't see shit right now.
Oh, man. Well, I'll tell you what. Ultimately, it's only one game, so hopefully they win in them, and that will that's all that truly matters. Austrian Jet fan who sent me the shirt I wore on the second show, or on the first show yesterday. Thanks again, Austrian Jet fan. He joins the Asmaniac raffle for one. Yeah, we're giving away this jersey by Jets announcer, former first-round pick, tight end Anthony Beck at the end of the show. So we're presented by FanDuel, Nick, and I have a bet for week one I want my listeners to be able to take advantage of. I'm going to pull it up right now. On FanDuel, you could get what I think are great receiving yards props for Breece Hall. So this is from FanDuel here. This is the official line on Breece. The over-under is set at 20 and a half receiving yards. Based on what we know about how the Jets offense is going to operate, I think I really like Breece's over total at FanDuel Sportsbook. What say you?
Oh my God, that is the easiest over for week one I have ever seen. Because, and this is receiving yards, so we have to remember that, but this guy's probably going to be number 2 on the team in targets this year. Like, I'm not even being facetious. He's probably going to be number 2 in targets. If he gets 10 targets, maybe catches the ball 5 times, you tell me that he can't get 4 yards on some of these receptions? Come on. I think he could go. I think he could go over 20 at the end of the first quarter, let alone the entire game.
I think this is a safe bet, so I like it. I'm going to make this bet on FanDuel Sportsbook. Now, I also want to play this. This was a video the Jets themselves posted when Aaron Glenn was mic'd up. This was right after Breece Hall caught a touchdown in practice, and this is what Glenn was saying to Breece.
That's where we're going to open your game up this whole year. You know what I'm saying? Not just running the ball, but being able to do something like that. You dig what I'm saying? That's where your game going to open up, bro. Because it's a mismatch. Take you on anybody out there, any safety or linebacker. There we go.
That's what they're going to do. They don't have a number 2 wide receiver. Well, guess what? Hey, Breece Hall, line up in the slot. Oh, you got a corner against you that can't play, a safety, a linebacker. Guess what? We'll take that matchup. You heard Glenn say it, and I think that's why, one, I love the FanDuel bet that I just showed you, but why I think, Breece Hall is capable of being, Christian McCaffrey in this type of offense. Like, that's how he's going to be utilized.
It's going to be so complex. And the other thing is this, the person we don't talk about enough when it comes to that sort of those schematics, Tanner Engstrand, he comes from an offensive system that is all predicated on finding the matchups that you want and scheming matchups open. Garrett Wilson is going to have a big year this year because he's going to be schemed open a lot more than he ever was beforehand. Same thing with Breece Hall. They're going to have Breece Hall and Braylon Allen on the field together a lot this year because they're going to use Braylon Allen as the power guy, and they're going to use Breece Hall all over the field. And if you have him on the linebacker, Breece needs to be able to win that matchup. Just basic expectations. He needs to win that matchup. Could be a little bit different if there's a safety on him, but even then, I really like Breece Hall's physicality. I like his speed to be able to match up well against really any player that he goes up against. Getting him out in space is going to be massive for this team, and it's going to give this offense a big advantage.
What were your thoughts on the captains that the Jets officially announced yesterday? 6 captains. Your thoughts on the 6 players that were voted by the Jets players themselves?
Yeah, so let's start off with Marcelino McCrary-Ball. He's clearly a special teams guy, but his development very similar to Jamien Sherwood, where a guy that wasn't really expected to do much, had to develop. There were obviously there was mistakes during the preseason this year, but clearly a player that they trust enough on special teams to be a vocal leader for that unit. And the other big takeaway, quite frankly, has to be Elijah Vera Tucker. Garrett Wilson, Justin Fields, expected. Quincy Williams, Jamien Sherwood, expected. But Elijah Vera Tucker becoming a captain in a contract year where he does not have a long-term deal yet is extremely telling to me because it shows me that this coaching staff believes that AVT is a pillar, a future pillar for this organization and their endeavors going on beyond just 2025. I do believe that they're going to find a way to get AVT on a long-term deal eventually, whether it happens during the season or after the season, whatever it ends up being. I do believe a deal gets done because you do not go from 1 year saying that this guy is a captain, a leader on this team, to saying, actually, he may not be worth what he wants and may not be worth that pay. That, to me, is extremely telling. AVT, the work that he has done to get back on this field and play at a high level, I look at him essentially as this is a guy that's going to be around for a very long time, even though the contract doesn't say it just yet. Quincy Williams being kind of omitted from this, a little bit surprising, but I do think that they are looking at Jamien Sherwood to be the leader of this linebacking core moving on into the future. I don't see that Quincy Williams is going to be part of the plans after this year eventually.
Also, Sherwood was voted team MVP last year, and he stepped in for C.J. Mosley, who was the defensive play caller and captain and was great.
They paid him $17 million. Like every sign points to Jamien Sherwood being the leader, being the face of this defense, the heartbeat of this defense. And again, it's not to say that Quincy Williams is bad. It's just he's in a contract year. They're going to need to decide on ABT. They're going to need to decide on a lot of different players, and some of them are going to have to walk. And eventually, it's probably going to be Quincy because you don't pay 2 linebackers on your roster over $10 million per year. It just doesn't happen. So they invested in Jamien Sherwood. I think we all agree that it was the right investment after the big year that he had. As a leader, he's been huge. Quinnen Williams has obviously been a huge leader. Garrett, Justin Fields. No major surprises, but I do like the fact that Marcelino McCrary-Ball and AVT were both given their flowers.
Garrett being a captain's awesome, taking that leadership step. Some people were surprised Sauce wasn't a captain, but I think it came down to the fact Quinnen has been a captain. Sherwood calls the defense, and then they had McCrary-Ball for the special teams. So I just think they just ran out of spots for Sauce.
Six is a fine number of captains. I mean, I personally, I always look and say, well, actually, I would love 3: a special teams guy, a defense guy, an offensive guy, and that's it. That's always been kind of my MO, but that's the old Madden days when you're building out your team and you're picking out the captains left and right. But again, 6 is perfectly fine. 2 on defense, 3 offense, 1 special teams makes perfect sense.
Comments, questions, super chats. They cut the line. AJF, Austrian Jet fan. He wants to know about the Corey Black signing. We did hit on that a little earlier. Look, adding some depth. It's a guy that the Jets clearly like. They saw him up close during the joint practices. So, hey, if he helps, great. The only player that I think a lot of Jet fans were hoping wouldn't get claimed during the waiver portion of the week was JBC, who the Browns claimed.
Yeah, and that shouldn't be surprising because JVC did have a very good camp, but it's a numbers game. And it really comes down to special teams. It comes down to practices, what they look like in special teams during practice. Quantez Stiggers made more special teams plays in preseason games and just training camp practices than JBC. It just really comes down to that. I think they both can be developmental players. I think JBC does have a future in this league, whether it's just on the practice squad or on a 53-man roster. But it all comes back to being a numbers game, and Stiggers outperformed JBC in that way on special teams.
Whitney Dixon writes in, nobody knew who Jericho Cotchery or Quincy Enunwa were either, but they became good receivers. Arian Smith looks like he wants to seize this opportunity.
Yeah, I had an exclusive with him, 2 days ago on Wednesday. The article went up on Thursday. He is a player that is fully aware of what he struggled with in college. And I think that is what is so stark to me, so surprising. He's a player that understood what he needed to work on, accepted it, and then built himself up to improve on those numbers. Now, I can't wait to see what he looks like during a regular season game, how he matches up against some of these other defenses, because he is a little undersized. I do think he needs to put on a little more muscle. But for his base speed right now, you can't teach that. And if you can't teach speed like this, you need to get him the ball in opportune situations. I'm really excited to see what the Jets do to get him the football.
The Turtle. I think too many people are sleeping on Josh Reynolds.
Well, the thing with Josh Reynolds is him and Alan Lazard are essentially the same player in that they're both very good run blockers. I think Reynolds is a more consistent pass catcher, obviously. But he's a player that is a veteran mind, a good locker room guy. He's someone that can he make the most of his 3 to 4 targets a game? That's the question. That's the question that we're going to have to ask. Can these receivers, not just Reynolds, but Lazard and Gibson and Smith, can these guys make the most of their 2, 3, 4, 5 targets that they are going to receive on game day? I think Reynolds is someone who can. He's an efficient player when he's healthy. He can really help this team out as a run blocker as well. All those things are going to be helpful for this team.
Nick Faria is our guest, covers the Jets for JetsXFactor.com. Weekly raffle on Tuesday because of Labor Day. Signed Fields jersey, signed Sack Exchange jersey, signed Sauce jersey for those of you just tuning in. Check it out. Reminder, speaking of week 1, you have till the 7th of September to book your Legends Cruise, Gangrene Legends Cruise with me, Fireman Ed, all the Jets podcasters, Lavernius Coles, or excuse me, we were just talking about Lavernius Coles, Jericho Cotchery, another great Jet receiver, Sean Ellis, Marty Lyons, Bilal Powell, Leon Washington. They're all coming. Cruisewithlegends.com. Check it out and lock in your spot if you're joining us on our cruise next year, May 30th through June 4th. Open phone lines for those of you who want in on today's discussion. We're going to get to your calls right now on the show. But first, this comment here from Mikey Man I wanted to address. I think the narrative that Breece's carries will be reduced is a smokescreen. Breece will be on the field a lot. How do you see the carry split early on in the year, Nick?
I think it's more 50-50 than anything else. And I wouldn't be surprised if Braylon Allen actually gets the bulk of the carries. And I stress carries. That does not mean touches. Breece Hall is still going to get his fair share of touches in general, and that's going to help him essentially improve those numbers over time. But in terms of carries, I do think they like Braylon Allen in this offense. I do think the schematical way they want to run the football fits what Allen wants to be like at the NFL level. And it's just a matter of pairing that up and figuring that out and what that looks like week 1. Not to say that Breece Hall's carries are reduced. They're obviously going to be reduced. But the touches may not. And I think that's the distinction people need to understand.
Interesting. And I think ultimately, if Braylon Allen is deserving more carries, there's no scenario, or there's definitely a scenario where Brees could be on the field at the same time as Braylon Allen and you get a creative play calling.
It's going to happen. And the other thing is this is what I'm really excited about with Tanner Engstrand, because he's coming from an offense that had two running backs, Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery, and they were able to use both of them to great effect. Now, Brees Hall, his talent, his body, his entire work is not equivalent to what Jahmyr Gibbs is. They're two totally different players. They run two totally different styles. But if they can get even a sliver of a similarity there with Hall and then Montgomery with Braylon Allen, this Jets offense is going to be a lot more fun to watch than people expect, just from a schematical standpoint, because Tanner Engstrand, from what we saw in the preseason, what we saw in practices, is a offensive coordinator who understands what he needs to do and what kind of system he wants to run for this entire unit.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's get to your call, shall we? First up today on the Gusbuster Umbrella Hotline is Beast.
I'm at the bank right now. I'm doing something here. I'm cashing my checks right now. Wait. Come on, man. I'm waiting for something. Come on, let's go. What's the deal? Oh, it doesn't work? Ah, son of a bitch. Great. Don't worry, I'll take care of you. Give me a second. I'll move it on over. It never fails. It's always one little thing after another. Ain't it obvious? Okay, let's get over here. Get over here. All right, give me a second, man. We're going to take care of you right now. You son of a bitch. Get your milk ass in there. All right, set up. Set. 1, 2, 3. All right, here she goes. Oh, boy. Beautiful day in the neighborhood. I like our numbers. I like our chances. But September 7th, get ready for the big fight. We're coming at you full speed ahead. Get ready. Get your tickets right now. MetLife Stadium. Be prepared for the fight of your life. Steelers, Jets, 1 p.m. CBS TV, New York. Get ready for the fight of your life. We're going to come at you full speed ahead. No mercy. Nowhere to run. This will be Rodgers' last ride in a cage. And he'll be on his way going on his way out, flat on his back, and he'll be dead before you know it. Prepare. Annihilate the weak. Destroy the opposition. Hope you enjoy the landing.
Thank you, Beast. Nick, your thoughts on that call?
I love the AI. I really do. It's incredible what we're able to create with this kind of content. I applaud Beast. I applaud him. I applaud everybody. Every single time my brain cells deteriorate just a little bit more.
Go Knicks, Beast. Great hat. King and Dreams, K&D in the house. He's entering our signed Beck raffle for 5.
We're the freaking New York Jets, so we're built for this shit.
K&D, you're going to like this week's weekly prizes on Tuesday. Signed Sauce jersey, signed Sack Exchange jersey, and a signed Justin Fields jersey. Good luck, and as always, appreciate your support. Let's get to more of your calls now with Nick, and then I'll stay on for the rest of the show. Reminder, I'm doing radio for the final time this week, so I am on ESPN New York today from 1 to 3. Tune in or call in as Maniacs. Always good when a bunch of listeners of this show tune in and call into the radio show. Ladies and gentlemen, up next on our show this morning is a guy that we love, we respect. Some of you might fear if you ever met him in person because he's gigantic. The great Kyle Clifton.
Go, gentlemen. How are you?
Clifton.
So, you know me, like whenever I call into the show, all I ever want to do is talk about fashion. So, these new uniforms, right? I don't really particularly care for them, but maybe Nick can weigh in on this. Aren't teams allowed to get a third alternative helmet this year?
I heard rumblings of that happening. I got to be honest. I could give two craps about what kind of helmet these teams are going to look like.
No, I mean, I think it goes. A lot of people say that. I don't care if they're wearing tutus as long as they win and get a playoff spot, right? But it ends up, being factored into the product you put on the field, right? Look good, feel good, stuff like that. Pride in what you're trying to do. I think I've always thought that a third alternative helmet in white would be good. Maybe using some of the alternative logos. They have the New York with the jet over it. They have the green oval with the jet inset that they could use in either case. But anyway, that's just kind of what I wanted to talk about at the opening. But I think that the fact that they're keeping these 4 tight ends, I think that you're going to see probably 45% of 12 personnel. You're gonna see plenty of pony stuff like that, like heavy sets where we're going to be able to run the ball. And I'm just looking forward to a time when maybe we can keep, Ruckert and Mason Taylor in line, and then maybe we'll split out like Jelani Woods, and that gives defenses like fits from like a schematic, like because the guy runs 4.6 and he's 6'7". So what do you do with a guy like that? Like if he beats you off the line, you have to go send help on that. And if you're also trying to commit to stopping the run, that's problematic. So there's ways without a true number 2 that this defense, either with speed with Arian Smith or with size with a guy like Jelani Woods, can be problematic. And I'm hoping to see the creativity that's going to put this into play, right, Coco?
Coco?
Yeah, Coco's here.
I like how you're trying to flip the camera, but you couldn't figure out how to do it.
I was afraid I was going to drop it. Give me a bit.
Listen, I totally get it. It makes a lot of sense. The breakdown of this Jets offense comes down to this. Can Tanner Engstrand develop an offensive system and scheme these guys open, scheme a system ready for the modern NFL? They're running a 60s, 70s style offense in the modern league. You don't normally see that. Now, that could mean it's a matchup nightmare for opposing defenses, or it's too archaic where you stop the run and the Jets essentially just fold over and die. It's one of those two. And I do like what I've seen from Engstrand. I do like what I've seen from this offensive line. That makes me believe this group can be a lot better than people expect. But it's going to come down also to Justin Fields. He protects the football, makes the right reads, is decisive. This offense will be good. If not, it's going to get ugly, and it could get ugly quick.
I mean, he's +1, right? So, like, if they can dedicate themselves, buy into this scheme, I don't care if it's the wing T. Like, if it's, 4 yards in a cloud of dust, and we're leaving ourselves with 3rd and 2 and 4th and 1, and we're getting it consistently, I could care less. I want to see some winning football. I appreciate your time, guys.
Ladies and gentlemen, the great Kyle Clifton. I think they need to be as creative as any OC we've seen for the Jets, because they're trying to do something that is tough to do in today's NFL, like dominate while running the football. It could be done. Your team did it, but the Eagles still had great players, and they were able to pass efficiently when they had to. Like it's so much of it is coaching, and Fields also, like, you can only scheme so much. Like, your quarterback needs to be able to make plays. Can he make plays when it matters?
It's efficient. You mentioned it. It's efficiency. What people forget about Philadelphia, they look at the 29th passing offense, and they say, oh, well, that shows it's all about just run effectively, and then you don't really have to throw the ball. But when they were forced to do so, they were incredibly efficient. I think the efficiency was top 5 total in the league last year. So, again, part of that's because they have 2 number 1 receivers on the roster, and they've got a really good tight end, and they've got a really good quarterback. The Jets essentially have maybe 1.5 of those kind of pieces at this point. But if they're efficient in any way throwing the ball, this is going to be a good offense. This is going to be a fun offense. If Justin Fields can develop into a quality, competent passer, this offense is going to win games for them. Not just, hang tight with some of the contenders, but actually win football games. And I think that's a distinction we haven't really seen. You look at what LaFleur did a couple of years ago when he was running this Jets offense, and whenever Zach Wilson wasn't on the field, the passing offense and the offense in general actually looked fun. They looked good. And then when Zach Wilson was on the field, it was like, okay, well, clearly they have the wrong quarterback. But they got rid of LaFleur for Nathaniel Hackett and his – I didn't know Breece Hall could be a receiving running back. That's incredible. Late in the year. It's still to this day the worst answer I've ever seen from any coach in a press conference ever. But again, Engstrand to me reminds me a lot of LaFleur because it's a lot of movement. It's a lot of screens. It's a lot of running and trying to scheme open certain players. And if that works, you are going to see a very improved offense from the year prior.
Coaching. We need to see it. Ladies and gentlemen, Gator writes in, the only thing worse than the offseason is a week before game one, when all we can talk about is alternative uniforms that the team wears once.
Listen, I totally get where Gator's coming from, but also there are moments
nobody gives a shit.
NFL teams, they want to do this one game type of new uniform look, and it's so bad that people never want to hear from it again. You guys, I probably don't remember this, but when the Eagles have been green for like 70 years, but they did one game in 2007 where they were in light blue, yellow jerseys, and it was the dumbest, ugliest thing I've ever seen in my entire life. And I think Lurie, after the game, said, we are burning this. We are never using this again. This was the dumbest thing we could have possibly done. Sometimes putting in new uniforms doesn't make much sense. That's just my MO.
Rasta Dread, who yesterday won a jersey. He chose a Justin Fields jersey. He's back for more, trying to win a signed Anthony Beck jersey at the end of the show, plus our weekly raffle prizes. Tuesday, thank you, Rasta. K&D, Super Chat. Good morning, gentlemen. What are we doing about wide receiver 2 and tight end 2 and 3? I bet if this was answered already, big up to the chat. So we hit on wide receiver already, K&D, but we could talk more about the tight end situation. Jelani Woods, I love that waiver claim. Your thoughts on the tight end room now with him being a part of it?
Yeah, it's going to be the question of what happens to Jeremy Ruckert now, because they bring in this new guy who they talked about as a blocker, obviously could be, someone that can catch passes as well. I really like Stone Smart as a tight end efficiently. You look at the efficiency numbers in Los Angeles. I was about to say San Diego, but you look at him with the Chargers, incredibly efficient. Any single time he was targeted, he would catch the football and make solid plays. If I were to guess, he is the number 2 receiving tight end, and Rucker would be the guy that's probably just the blocking tight end along with Woods. And, of course, with Mason Taylor, if you get anything close to what you are expecting and what you saw in camp in the preseason, you're going to have a starting tight end for the next decade. I mean, he is really good, really polished, blocks a lot better than people expected, is obviously a very good receiver. I think the Jets are going to be a lot better at tight end this year than they have been in recent years, which is pretty much the MO for the rest of the roster.
Look, I have no faith in Jeremy Ruckert. I think Andrew Beck could be fine, in a fullback, tight end, hybrid type of role. I think Stone Smart. Yeah, I think Stone Smart's like a big slot. I think a lot of it is how good is Mason Taylor as a rookie? Is he going to go Brock Bowers? Probably not. Is he going to be Sam Laporta? I mean, very unfair expectation, but I know the Jets like him a lot, and I think he could be really good. So hopefully he is great right away or really good right away, because that means a lot for this passing attack.
I always say for rookies, give them the second half of the season. If he is sort of slow on the uptake and he's not really producing at a high level the first half, but he catches fire and he's actually playing a lot better in the second half, then you go in and you recognize what you have. But this is kind of where I talk about sometimes rookies are just given unfair expectations. There is a contingent of Jets fans that are furious that they did not draft Tyler Warren and they did not draft Brock Bowers last season. Either of those two guys, because of how good Brock Bowers was, they'll look at Mason Taylor and say, we should have done this. This guy stinks. Get him off the field. But they don't want to give him time to develop. And I think that's where we sometimes fail rookies and young players, where they're just put into situations where the fan base doesn't like them for whatever reason, whatever dumb reason it is, and we just expect greatness right away. That's never going to happen. The tight end position is a very difficult position to learn, and it takes time. The way that I look at it, I think Mason Taylor will be a very productive tight end in his career. I think he'll be very productive in the second half of the season. Does that mean it may take him a little bit? Sure, but that doesn't necessarily mean that he's a bad player. It just means that it may take time for him to get to that point.
Comments, questions, super chats, you know the drill. They cut the line. Nick, one last question for you here. This one is from Evan. It's more of a statement, but we'll get your take on it. Fields showed in Pittsburgh last year. At least he could be a game manager and distribute the ball. This year, the difference will be his legs and the off-schedule stuff. Agree or disagree with Evan's assessment?
I have no problem with anything that he said in the first sentence, but to me, the difference this year is going to be that he's got a much better offensive coordinator for him. Arthur Smith is a very traditional play caller, a guy that's drop back and pass, try to maneuver around. He doesn't really like to have scrambling quarterbacks on his team. With Tanner Engstrand, he understands that he's got to scheme an offense and build an offense that fits Justin Fields and his mold. That's the difference to me, not sort of the off-schedule stuff, but sort of the on-schedule work that they build in to this system. Engstrand is incredibly important because of if he can just find a way to build Fields into a passer that fits the offensive mold, they're going to be a lot better. They're going to be a lot better. And Justin Fields will play a lot better as well.
It's going to be fascinating. Nick, we'll get you on next week and get more into game one of the season. But, man, football is back with college all weekend long. 6 days till the opening kickoff game with the Eagles and the Micah Parsons-less Dallas Cowboys. Got a game on Friday in Brazil with the Chiefs and the Chargers. We are almost there. We are almost on the precipice of football season.
Almost there. Thanks so much, Jake. Appreciate it.
Nick Faria, JetXFactor.com, weekly segment with him. I'm going to stay on for a little while longer. We got radio today at 1. We'll be back in the afternoon to finish the week strong with our Football Friday shows. We're presented by Huga House. Get a Huga House hat, 20% off when you use the promo code Asman at checkout. Their performance line hats have been their best sellers. Shout out to Matt Siegel, who was rocking his green Huga House performance hat yesterday at the U.S. Open. I saw, by the way, I don't know if anyone in the audience has connections to the U.S. Open. I'm dying to go, but in my head, I can't justify spending like $350 to sit all the way up at Arthur Ashe to watch tennis. So if anyone has a hookup with the U.S. Open for tickets, you let me know because I would love to go. Shameless plug on that. On that note, let's see if we can get some more calls here first. Shout out to you, Evan. You are in the Asmaniac raffle for 2 with the Super Chat. I appreciate you very much for that. Let's see what you guys are thinking. Comments, questions, Super Chats. Cut the line. Earlier, Honey Dukes wanted to know how do you enter the raffle. There's 2 ways to do it. One, you could gift the channel membership. And for every membership you gift, that's how many raffle tickets you earn. Or you send in a Super Chat that's $10 or higher, and that will get you 2 tickets. This one is from H Me Now, which I learned recently. It's supposed to be You Hate Me Now. You Hate Me Now. You are in the raffle for 1. Right now, we have complete open phone lines for anyone who wants in the conversation. There's only one man that's on hold. I don't know what he's doing. Last we saw, he was at a bank, it appears. Ladies and gentlemen, let's do a quick check-in with the Beast.
Do know what time it is? A Beast Breaker 666. I'm gonna take my fist and shove it up your ass, and then he gotta go. Get some reps in. Be okay. About 5 more minutes. Jesus.
What are you doing?
Getting back pain straightened out. You're bending down a little.
I don't think that's going to help your back. You're going to pass out.
I'll be all right.
I don't know.
I've been up since 5. Oh, wait. What the?
Gator says this is how you prep to eat. Is that true?
Are you blind? Were you blind or something? What the? Oh my God! Why do they got 50 buses? This doesn't make any sense. My God! Wait.
Hey, could someone else call in? By the way, this is what I'm working with right now. Show us the weights, Beast. The people want to see the weights.
Ford City. Are you kidding? I don't. I'm the one going to Peterson, you idiots. Great. That one comes in 4 minutes. That's great. Good. Now, what do I want to have? I don't know. I'm not hungry right now. I'm just the damn bus.
Oh, shit.
All right. Thank God someone has called in. But first, a couple gifted memberships to shout out. Blitz BK, whose album is out today. Jet fans, go support Blitz. J-Boy, also gifting a membership. Hit the Jet chant for both of them. Ladies and gentlemen, Philly Noodles is up next. Hello, Philly.
What up? Yo,
Philly, I'm giving you a raffle ticket for saving the show today.
You got it, man. Anytime. It seems like I correlate my timing with Beast as well. First off, we gotta ask the world. Beast, we need to know, why did you walk to the drive-thru at a bank? Anyone pick up on that?
He doesn't drive.
No, he walked up to the drive-thru part of the bank.
I know. He doesn't drive. He feels like that's normal behavior.
You got to go through the inside of the bank. Oh, God. I couldn't imagine being the bank teller being like, oh, he's back. Okay. this is happening.
Who's this guy?
Oh, shoot. Yeah, I was on with BG and people this morning. I think Ruckert's going to make the team. I mean, if it was going to happen already, I think he would have been cut.
Well, yeah, they added another tight end. It didn't cut him. So Ruckert's definitely on the team.
Yeah. So it is what it is. And you know what? I was stressing with one of his dudes, the guy Bob Blutterer, talking about the position of having a second wide receiver. If it's not done this year, at some point, people got to understand we have to acquire a second wide receiver that's strikingly better than everyone else on the roster. It just has to happen, whether Aaron Smith develops that way or not, but it has to happen. All franchises that are winning right now are doing it with 2 or 3 wide receivers. It's just a matter of fact. Whether they're the Eagles and they run the shit out of the ball, like Justin Fields wants to, and this offense wants to, or not. Look at Amon St. Brown and what's his face? Williams. The kid from Alabama. That they drafted, wide receiver. That's a tandem right there. I mean, the Eagles, they got a tandem. The Cowboys got a tandem. Texans got a tandem. Like, everyone has a tandem. So it's like, yes, those quarterbacks are light years better passers than Fields, but no matter what, you have to have the second wide receiver. People need to understand that. Look at DJ Moore, and now they got Roma Dunze, and they drafted another one. So it's going to be what it is until we figure that out. I'll be fine with that if they scheme up like Mr. Clifton was saying. If they, that's what I was saying. They're going to have to chip away a lot at the line, have some chips, have some blockers chipping, and do some creative stuff. Week 1 is really so much of a test. I sat back and thought about it. I'm like, dude, they're going to load the box. They already know what Fields is about. They just had him last year on the roster. And Highsmith and Watts are going to be out for blood. And we're going to have to try to stop that. And it's not like the middle of the line's completely safe because we got old man Rivers in there. That dude's nasty. The guy who didn't even want Rodgers on his team, Hayward. You know what I mean? So if they could hold up against the Steelers week 1, I think we should be okay for the season. The line. If they hold up, I think, it'll be good for the rest of the season. But that week 1, that's the test right there.
That's it?
Yeah, I mean, and that jersey, I like that jersey. I don't care what anybody thinks. I think they're pretty cool. Gotham City, bro. Some dark green, you know what I mean? Let me get some dark green.
All right. Now, if you approve, Philly.
Oh, yeah. It's almost black, and, I would like them to go back to the Titans jersey a little bit. I do like that. That old school look. That was pretty cool. And it was during the times we were winning some bit. Mark Sanchez donning that jersey.
Well, I think that's why people like the jersey. The actual jersey's ugly. I mean, I like the T-shirt that Foco sent me yesterday. I wore on the show. I think the logo's cool, but it's not the Jets. I think we remember that jersey more fondly than we would if they weren't good during the time they wore it. Like, they won a lot of games in those throwbacks.
Oh yeah, exactly. And they said the reason why they went to those jerseys with that the cuffing on the shoulder pads is Namath inspired. I don't know if you read the whole thing. I was like, all right, well, I'm pretty sure. Listen, Joe Willie, if Joe Willie likes a jersey, it is what it is. They should go interview him, see what he thinks. But,
ladies and gentlemen, Philly Noodles, who's in a Muji mood.
Oh, yeah.
Philly, thank you.
I got gas right now.
All right. Couple of Asmaniac super chats. Wesley Gates, well-deserved raffle for Philly. Thank you, sir, for your service. Amen. Thank you, Philly Noodles.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We got a Gorman call yesterday on the show, too. It was a wild second show yesterday. Bobby Midnight. Happy birthday, Bobby. Bobby Midnight called in yesterday, and all I'm going to say is he had to shave on the air. All hell broke loose. Wild one. Rick checking in. Jake, who is your favorite insider guest, and why is it Nick Faria? I'm a huge fan of Nick. I like to take credit for putting Nick Faria on the map as well. He was new to the beat. This is third season, so this was Ryder's first year. And I started seeing his name pop up on Twitter covering training camp, and I thought he had really good training camp tweets, and he skews optimistic compared to some of the guys on the beat. So I was like, you know what? Let's have Nick on as a guest. And the audience liked it. And then we made it a weekly thing that summer, carried that over, and then ever since, Nick's been a regular on the show. So I think Nick's awesome. Let's see. JD writes in. Who did they release with the new corner they picked up? Well, they added him to the practice squad, JD, so I don't think they cut anyone to my knowledge. They still had open spots on the practice squad. Also, Zaire Barnes cleared waivers. So he's someone that they could bring back now, too. Dylan says, let's see, it does allow Rucker to be inactive on game day, though, and the option to elevate Johnson. Yeah, you're right. You can make Rucker inactive and Tyler Johnson's elevated. I see your point. Yep. Rucker's not a guarantee to be active on game days with the 46. They could easily go with Mason Taylor, Stone Smart, and Jelani Woods. And I think they're going to have Beck active, so I can see it. Hey, we got some good insight from my guest who's joining me today at 2:30 on radio, Connor Rogers. I'm gonna put up Connor's tweet here because I think it's worth covering with the audience, and then we'll get back to your calls coming up. Connor tweeted some interesting notes about the players the Jets added. Jets made 2 interesting roster moves during cuts this week from the 2025 draft. Claimed Chiefs UDFA, offensive lineman, Issa Pohl, gave up a 7th round grade, or he says, I gave a 7th round grade, number 262 on my big board, and added Giants 7th rounder Corey Black to the practice squad. Connor had a 5th round grade on him and had him as his 182nd ranked player on his board. Pohl was a late comer to football who has shown flashes worth developing in an NFL program. I liked Corey Black's size, speed, ball skills. His traits fit what Aaron Glenn wants in the secondary, though he was a better prospect than the 2 defenders they drafted. Why can't I read? Thought he was a better prospect than the 2 defenders they drafted in the 5th round this year. So how about that? By the way, let's be real. The only reason why Tyler Barron is on this team is scholarship. He didn't earn a spot. He was a 5th round pick that did nothing all summer. Tyler Barron, 5th round pick, who right now is like the 3rd string edge on this team, 4th string edge. Right? Because you got McDonald, Jermaine, Clemens, McGregor, then Barron. Like those are the defensive ends on the team. Barron's only on the team because of scholarship. And same with Kiko. I know they like Kiko a little more. He showed a little more than Barron. But the 2 players the Jets drafted in the 5th round, I agree with Connor here. I feel like the guys they've added this week might end up being better. So we'll see. Ultimately, you have to just find ways to make your team better, and you figure out the rest. Philly Noodles, who saved the show before, now is paying it forward to the community. How about that? He gifted a channel membership. Philly, you're now in for 2 because we gave you 1 for saving the show. All right, more calls. This guy went head-to-head with Gary the other day, and things got wild. Ladies and gentlemen, Man with the Jets tattoo is next. Hello, Man with the Jets tattoo.
Hey, Jake, how you doing?
Your name is actually Carl? Love it.
Yes, it is. I had to do that for Bob Letter on the Boy Green show.
Why, he didn't want to call you Man with Jet Tattoo?
Well, he wanted to know my real name.
How do we know Carl's your real name?
It's my real name, believe me. It's my real name.
I believe you, Carl. I'm just wondering.
But I will want. I love that Kyle Clifton song. I love it. Kyle Clifton. I love that song. I can't get it out of my head.
It's a great song.
Kyle Clifton. I don't know all the words to it though.
Well, keep watching, and eventually, I think you will.
Okay. Anyway, listen. I really loved the addition of Smith, the receiver, back to the regular roster. But don't they have to cut somebody now?
I don't know if that's true. It could have just been a typo on the website. The Jets themselves have not announced that, so I would hold off until we get some confirmation.
And I really like the tight end. I watched some of his highlights yesterday. He's got me a little bit excited. If this kid can stay healthy, I think we really got something here. Have you seen anything? Have you watched any highlights of him?
Arian Smith?
Yeah. No, not Arian Smith, the tight end.
Oh, Jelani Woods.
Yeah, Jelani Woods.
Yeah, I mean, I liked him a couple of years ago when he was coming out as a guy they could potentially target in the draft.
Yeah, hopefully
he's been hurt.
Hopefully he can stay healthy.
Correct. And I think the key with Jelani Woods is how quickly can he get up to speed in this offense? Because I think he could be better than Stone Smart or Jeremy Rucker just on talent. Like he flashed. He looked good as a rookie. And the injuries he suffered the last 2 years, they don't feel like chronic type of injuries. They feel kind of like fluky things that just happen when you play football, not like, oh, this guy's got a hamstring or a calf problem. So hopefully he stays healthy and he can play. He's got a real good opportunity to make an impact on this team.
Yeah, the toe thing, that can happen to anybody, and he has surgery on that. I think he'll be okay. And he looked really good in preseason this year with the Colts.
He did. Absolutely.
So, well, listen, I'm on my way to Aldi's right now. I got to get my quarter and go inside. So I just wanted to say I love the Kyle Clifton song.
Well, it's a great take. And Carl, I'm glad we learned your name.
Thank you. Maybe next time I'll even use my last name.
Wow. Really stepping it up for the people.
I might. I'm kind of in a witness protection program, so I really don't like that. I don't like to do that.
I see.
So anyway, Jake, listen, you have a good weekend. And Kyle Clifton, I love that song. You take it easy, Jake.
Ladies and gentlemen, Carl.
You get the fuck out.
Great take. It is a great song. Jay Perez in the house. Jay has won a lot of raffle prizes. What? Signed Corbett jersey, signed Garrett Wilson helmet, signed Corbett helmet. I think he won last year. I can't keep track. Jay, you're in for 5. Good luck. Big fella in the raffle for 5. Jake, can you give my son, little fella, a B-Day shout out? He turns 20 today. These raffle tickets for him. Happy birthday to the little fella. Now, let me say this. The little fella is actually not that little. I met him at our event at Chef Kevin's place a couple of weeks back. Little fella, not that little. He's a big dude. He is like his dad. But shout out to the little fella. Happy birthday. One more year till he can have his first ever beer, right, big fella? I always get a kick out of the fact you could serve your country at age 18, but you can't drink a beer. That makes sense. Austrian Jet fan, whose shirt I rocked yesterday, back in the raffle for another entry. Good luck, AJF. Let's get to more calls here before we wrap. We'll do a raffle. Let's say hello to Mike Drop, who's calling in for the second day in a row. What's up, Mike Drop? Welcome back.
Hey, Jake. Thanks for having me. Happy to be back. I want to talk about Lazard today. So I was looking at the over the cap, and it looks like we get some cap relief if we trade him and not cut him. Is that a consideration? Probably going to Pittsburgh after the game we play with them. And then I want to talk about his blocking stats as well. So I was looking at the last years in Green Bay versus while he's been in the Jets, and he was like 64% percentile in blocking as far as all the receivers while in Green Bay, and then like 37 while he's with the Jets. So I know the consideration is he's a good blocker, but it seems like since he got paid, that's not a true stat. So I don't know. That's what I could find for receiver blocking. It doesn't seem to be a very big category or thing that's tracked by a lot of things. So I don't know what you use, but That's kind of what I saw.
Look, I can tell you this. I think Lazard's status on the team, I don't know if he's a lock to be here beyond, the first 4 games of the year. I mean, we'll see like who emerges. Are there injuries? I think ultimately he's not going to be cut though before week 1 because you don't want him going to the Steelers and basically spilling the beans on the entire offense to them before the game. But could they dish him to Pittsburgh after that? It's possible. I think he's going to be here for now, though. I do.
Well, I don't know what they see in him. I wish he would start putting a little bit more effort in the blocking, I guess, because that's what we need him for. Big dude blocking and
they swear by his blocking. I mean, I think we overrate that stuff, but it is what it is. Also, by the way, for those going nuts over Brandon Smith, this is why I have a pretty good pulse on what's real and what's not. The Jets website has already put Brandon Smith back on the practice squad. So it was a typo, it was a clerical error, whatever. So there's no move coming. Brandon Smith is still on the practice squad.
And then, I saw an article yesterday. Buster Screen, our nickel corner from like 4 years ago, got arrested for scamming a woman out of hundreds of thousands of dollars.
He scammed Jet fans out of that too.
Yes, he did. So thanks for the call. Appreciate it.
Mike, what's the reaction to the Micah deal in Dallas? Crazy, right?
Yeah, all my Dallas friends are freaking out. So, but they got a decent haul. I guess Trey Lance got more, right? Three firsts. So crazy.
Well, that was a draft day trade though. Joe Douglas got more though for Jamal Adams than Jerry Jones got for Micah Parsons. Think about that.
Exactly. That's awesome. So hopefully he does okay in Las Vegas. So I'm hoping that it's where he should be, a linebacker position under Pete Carroll. I think he'll do great in that.
We shall see, ladies and gentlemen. Mic drop with a good take there. Uno Jets. Jake, put me in. Let's go Jets. Good luck, Uno. You are officially in the Asmaniac raffle for 2. Last chance to get in on the show. We'll spin the wheel of champions. This jersey here is signed by Jets radio announcer, former first-round pick, tight end Anthony Becht. Give that away, and I'll mail it to the winner today. If you get me your address right after the show, I'll do it on my way to ESPN New York. All right, ladies and gentlemen, speaking of ESPN New York, this guy called the radio show yesterday. He's in the car right now. Will he call in again today? Hello, PBM.
Purple Belt Mike, he loves the dark night. He's got a green pool and he jumps right in. Maybe someday he'll get a brown belt, but for now he's just that Purple Belt Mike. Purple Belt Mike, it might be purple, but he can still kick your dirty ass.
Yo, I need a suggestion. So I had PT today, felt good. I got up to 126 degrees, which is very good. I'm way ahead of schedule. My PT actually said that I'm the best ACL he's ever had, so pretty good. But I went to the gym for the first time, and I worked out for the first time in about 6-ish weeks. So I want to treat myself to breakfast. Now, right by me, I haven't had food breakfast.
Hey, maybe treat yourself to better internet. How about that, Mike? Sorry, Mike. Your Wi-Fi was trash. Tough. Call back when you get better service on the LIE or the Northern State. And maybe we could offer a suggestion on what you should eat for breakfast. I might even ask Beast what you should eat because he's an expert on eating. Let's see. Jay in the house. Jake, I'm working on my Jets wall. You'll see all my prizes exhibited. Jay has sent me what some of that wall looks like, and it's pretty sick. I got to get something similar in my my apartment here. Jess in the raffle again. Jess, you have yet to win a raffle, right? This is the day. I feel it. I feel it for Jess. Black Gypsy gifting another one. He's in the raffle for another one. Good luck to Black Gypsy. All right. Let's see if we could understand Mike a little better. Mike, hello.
Yeah,
Mike?
I went through a dead zone as you picked me up. So I'm not sure what you caught and what you didn't catch.
You said your
should be
PT
good
is
now.
ahead of schedule, and your doctor said you have the greatest ACL ever, and then you wanted to know what you should get for breakfast. Am I following?
Wasn't my doctor that said that. It was the physical therapist. Because usually the thigh graft is hard in the beginning to get range of motion and strength. But as much as he said, I want to give you credit, meaning me, he said this is 100% your surgeon. Because there's a Penn State basketball player that isn't anywhere near where I'm at, and he's obviously 10 times the athlete that I am. He's a Division I basketball player. So as much as I want to have credit, it's really not me, it's the surgeon. So it's pretty good. But what I was saying was I wanted to treat myself to, because right by me where I live, there's Wendy's, Burger King, and McDonald's. So I wanted to get like a breakfast, but I don't even know what to order to get. I was going to do the bacon, egg, and cheese like I always get, but I want to do something different to celebrate my progress.
Well, I'll tell you what. I think you're in luck because we have a guy on the line that is definitely able to help you.
Highly recommend Wendy's. Go Wendy's.
For breakfast?
Hell yeah!
What?
Go with the sausage and biscuit. 2 for $3. That's the best.
Sausage and biscuit, 2 for $3. All right.
Hell yeah! You got a good deal
Better be
out of
good.
it? Hell yeah! Hell yeah!
I usually don't eat this stuff, but I want to kind of feeling good. I want to try something. So passing Burger King right now, so that's out.
You don't want to go there. Burger King's not that great.
Wendy's
Go
is like
Wendy's.
2 miles away, so I guess I'm going there.
Go Wendy's. You'll thank me. In the words of the great Al Bundy, you'll thank me tomorrow.
All right. I'll call later, and I will give my thoughts on. You said the biscuit and sausage, right? 2 biscuit sausage.
Yes, 2 for $3. You'll get a good deal out of that.
All right.
And I'll tell you, it's so good. You're gonna go, damn, I'm gonna come back here for more. It's even better.
This is riveting stuff, guys.
Riveting. He's riveting. He's pivoting. He's skiveting. He's on fire. I'm just taking NBA Jam quotes. Going. He's riveting. He's pivoting. He's jumping. He's driving. He's driving. He's on fire. Are we ready? 9 more days to football, baby.
Yeah. Hold on. PBM. Are you in Long Island, New York, or New Jersey?
Long Island. I always get the bacon, egg, and cheese because I love it, but I just want to try something different. I want something greasy. I want to try something different.
Okay, I got you. Tell them to double fry your eggs with extra oil so you want them greasy because you still want a good egg sandwich from a quality place. I'm in North Carolina and I could shit the bed that I can't get a good egg sandwich, bro. You're crazy, man. You're crazy.
I get really good egg sandwiches all the time. There's a really good spot by me, but I don't know, I'm feeling greasy. You know what I'm saying? I gotta do something.
I'll tell you how to switch it up, bro. This is what I used to do. I used to get grilled onions on my egg sandwich, bacon, egg, and cheese, everything bagel, egg, everything. And then what you do is you ask them to smear vegetable cream cheese instead of like American on the bacon, egg, and cheese. You substitute the cheese, cream cheese, veggie cream cheese, bro. I'm telling you, changes your life. You're like, what is this shit, bro? Changes your life, 100%.
I thought this was a Wendy's. This is a fucking Taco Bell. Fuck.
Oh, God. I gotta get off the phone with you guys. This is crazy.
This shows you how much
Taco Bell? Really?
Fuck.
Really?
Maybe it's down further. That's Taco Bell. Shit. All right, it might be down further. Let me go down further.
Check it out. Nobody gives a shit. So PBM, what do you see first game? What do you see happening first game?
I see Aaron Rodgers throwing for 550 yards and 5 touchdowns.
No, not happening.
Hey, Beast.
3 straight times, right flat on his back, and he'll be going, my God, Brock.
Beast.
I hope
Show us Quentin Williams sacking Rodgers.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen.
But hey, first put your light on, then move your mic that's not plugged in and serves no purpose.
So I just had to fix my hair anyway, make myself look sexy enough. All right, ladies and gentlemen.
It's very dark. We need some lights.
this is going to be a very bad power slam for him. Rogers is going to look like this. For example, he looked like he pissed his pants because he knows he's going to get smoked like a turkey. So watch example, ladies and gentlemen, the dime example. Hey, Rogers, I hope you remember pain and suffering. Welcome to 101 of my class. Wham! Going down for the ride. Ooh. Welcome to New York City, house of hardcore, bitch. This is our house. Next time you enter, there won't be a walkthrough. There'll be a nice ride through to the emergency room. Lay down, bitch. That's example 101. No buttermilk, no syrup, not even blueberry will save his little sorry ass. I just had chicken. Chicken.
We covered a lot there.
Yeah, I'm gonna drive for another 2 miles, and if I don't see Wendy's, then I'm just gonna go to my regular spot.
All right. Thank you for
I thought
blessing
there
us
was a
with this.
Wendy's, though.
Mike, you have a great meal.
Thanks.
Nobody gives a shit.
All right. Thank you for that one, Mike. Real quick, couple super chats here. Last chance to get in the raffle. Spencer says, I think Beast went to dance at the strip joint last night. Made him some money. Jay Perez says, enough. Jay, not a fan of Beastbreaker, clearly. Robert says, thank you for wasting 5 minutes of my life. Beast, your thoughts on people saying you're wasting their lives?
Hit the hole, asshole. You don't like it here? You know what the old saying is? Click the clicker.
All right. Today's closer is Nate on the bike. Hello, Nate.
What's up, Jake? How's it going?
What's up, Nate?
Not much. I've had weird hours at work, so I've been up super early. I already had breakfast. I'm looking to get lunch right now. This Texas barbecue spot. You can get a chicken wrap from there. McDonald's is on the next block, but I'm really not interested in fast food. Plus, and I think I'm going to miss their McGriddles and the hotcakes. And then there's always Sal and Carmine's on 102. But I don't know. Pizza, I'm not really like a pizza in the summer guy. It kind of likes to warm me up and fat me up in the winter. So I'm really leaning against pizza if I don't have to go that way. But anyway, how do you feel about the Jets?
I feel good, Nate.
Well done, Jake. All right. I'm at my coffee shop. I just wanted to call in and check in on the meals.
You get the fuck out.
Ladies and gentlemen, well done by Nate there. Let's see. Barbaros, this is still more of a second breakfast time than lunch. It's an odd time. James says, hello, everyone. I've been watching the Jake Asman show since the beginning. I never got involved with the chat. I wasn't able to catch many live shows. Can everyone see my statement? Oh, we see it. I also saw this statement from you, James. Haven't been to a game since the early 90s. I hear MetLife is a crappy stadium. It's just the most generic, boring stadium one could be at. There's nothing cool about it. There's no charm to it. It stinks. That's the reality. It stinks. Hopefully, the Jets will have their own stadium one day, but don't hold your breath on that. I'll believe it when I see it. Mr. Magoo, potentially our last entry in the raffle. Biscuits and gravy are great great biscuits, and gravy are great. Okay. Thank you for that one. There was a super chat from Sean as Maniac 1. Can you spell supercalifragilisticexpialidocious? Because that's how I'll hopefully feel after the Pittsburgh game. Thank you for that one. All right. I think it's time to spin the wheel of champions. Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready? Kyle Clifton just wrote in, by the way. I have to admit, I love the Clifton song too. Jets Tattoo. I mean, who doesn't love that song? Come on now. It's one of the great intros we have, but Briga's intro was the one that was voted by the Asmaniac listeners as the best in the Azzy Awards. There are so many good ones. Just think how many over the next year they're going to be created that aren't out there yet. We're just scratching the surface. Dylan, Kyle must be on a crazy delay. Yeah, he's definitely very far behind in the show. He's just at that part now. Barbarossa says, I was listening to Gator Jams on my morning run today. Love that. Sean Sharp. What's up, Sean? Well done by you. You are in the raffle. For one, you are our last entry because I am literally stalling here so I could put all the names in. Beautiful. All right. Raffle time. Giving away a signed Anthony Beck Jets jersey. How we do it? Watch the show if you haven't seen it. It's called the Wheel of Champions.
It's time to announce the winners of the weekly Asmaniac raffle. Let's spin the Jake Asman Show Wheel of Champions and find out which Asmaniac is winning an epic prize.
Music is playing. The Wheel of Champions is now on your screen. Ladies and gentlemen, only one can win today, but if you don't win, you still can win on Tuesday in our weekly raffle that features 3 prizes: Justin Fields signed jersey, Sack Exchange signed jersey by each member, and a Sauce Gardner jersey signed by the man himself. Here we go. One winner. The winner is K&D. K&D, King and Dreams. He gifted 5 at 10:06 a.m. and at 10:56 a.m. His name has been called on the Wheel of Champions. Hit the Jet chant for K&D. Congrats to K&D, longtime supporter of the show. Great dude. Well deserved. On that note, that does it for me this morning. If you want more of me, you're in luck. ESPN New York today from 1 to 3. Herm Edwards, hello. You play to win the game. And Connor Rogers are my 2 guests. Going to talk Jets, talk more about the Micah trade, get into the baseball from last night with both the Yankees and the Mets. So I'm looking forward to all that. We'll be back this afternoon for our final show into Labor Day weekend. Football Friday. And folks, single digits away now from Jet Steelers in week 1 of the season. On that note, I will leave you all with a clip that I feel needs to be played on a day like today. Sit back and enjoy the ride. And as always, remember this: JETS, 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 Jets. Like the video and subscribe if you haven't. Come on now, let's go. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time. Big Show. Hey, Big Show, I'm getting another call. Hold on one second.
Yeah.
Big Show.
Yeah, it's nice. I like my recliner. No, I just called to check in.
Big Show.
I don't like all those wrinkles on my head. I don't have that many wrinkles.
We're talking about Big Show.
My implants are coming in 3 months.
The Kardashian ones?
I put the jet gear on for you. Been running some errands early. Came home just chilling.
Big Show.
Well, hey, Big Show.
What's going on with you?
Oh, man, what's going on with you?
No, I'm just kind of chilling. I got some more work to do.
Chilling, too. Just chilling here. I figured I'd call and say what's going on.
Whose jersey you got on?
Earl Christie from Super Bowl.
Super Bowl?
Super Bowl 3, of course, the only one.
That's true.
Yeah.
You look like you're nice and relaxed.
Yeah, I'm just chilling.
How was your 4th?
Did you say something?
Yeah, I said, how was your 4th?
I was just chilling.
Just chilling.
Just chilling, man. I chill on Monday to Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Monday, Tuesday. Chill. Just gotta do it, just chilling.
Somebody's got to do it.
You know that. My back's killing me. I'm just chilling. See what Jake's doing. Just figure I'd call in and see how you're doing.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
What's wrong with your back?
Just always hurts. Sitting here in a chair like this helps. So I chill here sometimes, Monday through Friday, and then Saturday and Sunday. And just chill here and it feels good. How's your back doing?
It's doing okay. I've had several spinal operations, had over 10.
10? No, it's good.
Yep.
Best to just sit there and chill, right?
Yeah, basically.
Big Show.
Hey, here's the deal. Just got no chance unless you click on that like button. And you got to make sure you subscribe to the Jake Asman Show. You don't, you can get the f*** out. Now let's go, Asmaniacs. We're built for this shit.